Okay, so let's say you've been implementing my tip number 1 and tip number 2 over the past few weeks. So you have started tracking your words per hour and you've eliminated all the distractions so that when you sit down to write, you are actually writing. That's really good. But you look at your word per hour and you realize that, hey, wait a minute, right? The number is not going up as fast as I'd like it to. Remember, your goal is around 1,000 words per hour. Let's say you get stuck at around 500 to 600 to 700 words per hour. Question is, how do I, increase that number? How do I start writing a lot more and a lot faster? The problem is not gonna be your typing speed. I don't think it's gonna be the typing speed. If you're anything like me, chances are you're just spending way too much time thinking about what to write rather than actually writing. So maybe you write 3 to 4 sentences and you start thinking, hey, does this actually fit into the grand scheme of things? What comes next? Does it fit my character? Are there any contradictions? And then you go back and you keep changing stuff and you end up only writing a couple of lines after an entire hour. So how do you overcome this problem? Stay tuned for tip number 3. So without further ado, let's have a look at tip number 3. Plan before you write. What kind of planning can we do? There's actually 3 kinds of planning, and the first kind is your macro outline. So this is where we have a bird's eye view of where your story is heading. You want to write down all the broad details regarding your plot, your setting, your characters, but that includes your rising action, your climax, your ending, so on and so forth. And for setting, all your geographies, all the different places that your characters are involved in, and all your protagonists and your antagonists. It also includes any unique content that you might have. For instance, my story features a very unique magic system, so I have to make sure that it's inside of my macro outline and it's working first. You can also add less details if you want your story to be more organic, because sometimes when you write, you realize that the story develops along the way. So it really depends on your writing style, whether you want to have something more fixed or something more organic. And then after that, you can dive deeper into your meso outline, where we're actually planning for the current chapter. This includes a brief outline of specific scenes in the chapter, and always link it back to your macro outline. Make sure that there are no contradictions, and also make sure that it's moving forward towards where your plot is heading. Alright, so always review to where you want to go. You don't have to be overly detailed at this point yet. The whole idea is that you want to make sure that all of your ideas and outlines here, they are working first. If it doesn't work, if there are contradictions, you can actually resolve it early in the meso outline before you go deeper into the details. So that's it for your meso outline. Then after that, you can dive deeper into your micro outline, right, where we finally go into the details. This is for a specific scene that you are about to write in your writing session. Grammar and full sentences right now is not necessary. You can actually just write in point form or just include all the details very quickly, right? But the secret sauce here is that you want to visualize first before you start planning, right? You can imagine your characters talking to each other, the action scenes that they are in. You want to make sure that all your 5 senses are engaged and that you can see the scene very clearly first, and that you like it very much. Okay, if you don't like the scene, why will your readers enjoy it? So make sure that the scene is juicy first, visualize it, then you start planning, then you start writing it out. Okay, so this is the secret sauce. Visualize it first before you start planning, specifically for the micro outline. General planning tips: don't get lost in the details. Right, that's why we go broad, then we go deep, from macro to meso to micro. Alright, and then to save time, you can actually start planning or visualizing outside of your allocated writing time. So let's say you're doing stuff like washing the dishes, or you're on the bus, anything that doesn't require full concentration, you actually start visualizing your favorite scenes. And then once you start planning, you can set a timer and make sure that you're on task so that you don't write too much during the planning. Right, just 30 minutes of solid planning can actually give you up to 4 to 5 hours of uninterrupted writing. So you don't have to plan so much and you get to write a lot. However, when you're writing and get lost, right, don't forget to just go back to planning or visualizing. Chances are you probably miss out something along the way. Finally, and I can't emphasize this enough, make sure that whatever you're planning is fun, that is juicy, that is something that you're dying to write, that you're excited about. Because if it's not fun, then what's the point of all of this planning, right? You actually want to plan so that you can write something exciting for your readers. So plan before you write. This is the secret sauce to actually supercharge your writing speed and increase your words per hour. So hopefully you have seen all my other videos. If not, please go back and check out part 1 and part 2. Just to recap, tip number 1 is to track your words per hour. Tip number 2 is to make sure that there are no distractions when you're writing. And tip number 3 is to make sure that you plan before you write. Equipped with these 3 tips, hopefully that will kickstart you on your journey towards writing 2,000 words in just 2 hours a day. I hope you found this useful, and if you liked my videos, please like and subscribe for more. See you around and happy writing!